The group stage of the 2026 World Cup has just come to an end. But the biggest story capturing the attention of the football world is not which teams advanced. It is an entirely new knockout round. For the first time in World Cup history, the tournament now features a round of 32. At first glance, it may seem like nothing more than a simple format change. But in reality, it has transformed the way teams approach the tournament, the way fans follow every match, and even the path to lifting the World Cup trophy. For some national teams, finishing in third place once meant the end of their journey. Now, it could be the ticket that keeps their World Cup dream alive. So, how did FIFA create the round of 32? And is this a step forward that makes the World Cup more exciting, or a change that could cause the biggest tournament on earth to lose the very identity that made it so special? For nearly 3 decades, football fans had grown familiar with a simple formula: 32 teams, 8 groups. The top 2 teams from each group advanced to the round of 16. Everything was straightforward and remained almost unchanged since the 1998 World Cup. But the 2026 World Cup marked the biggest expansion in the tournament's history. The number of participating nations increased from 32 to 48. That meant the old format could no longer work. If FIFA had kept the round of 16, too many teams would have been eliminated immediately after the group stage. So, a completely new knockout round was introduced, the round of 32. This was not just one more match added to the schedule. It became a new step on the road to winning the World Cup, while also changing the way every team approached the tournament from the very first game. And once you understand how FIFA selected the final 32 teams, you will see why this year's group stage felt more intense than any World Cup that came before it. The new format may sound complicated at first, but it is actually quite simple. The 12 group winners automatically advance to the knockout stage. The 12 runners-up do the same. That gives us a total of 24 teams. The remaining 8 places go to the 8 best third-place teams across all 12 groups. To determine those 8 teams, FIFA compares their total points first, followed by goal difference, goals scored, and additional tiebreakers if necessary. That creates an entirely new race. A team finishing third is no longer competing only against the other teams in its own group. It is also competing against every other third-place team in the tournament. One goal conceded, or even a single point. Any one of them could determine which team keeps its World Cup dream alive and which team is sent home. That is exactly why the final round of group stage matches became more unpredictable than ever before. The new format has completely changed the way teams approach the group stage. In the past, once a team realized it had little chance of finishing in the top 2, its motivation often began to fade. Now, finishing third can still open the door to the knockout stage. That has made every single goal more valuable than ever. A stoppage time goal can improve a team's goal difference. One goal conceded can bring an entire World Cup campaign to an end. Sometimes, a team's fate is no longer entirely in its own hands. After playing its final group match, it must wait for results from other groups, watching every score, every goal, and every shift in the standings for the third-place teams. It is a level of suspense that previous World Cups rarely delivered. The tension does not end when the final whistle blows. It lasts until every group stage match has been played. And that is exactly why many believe the new format has turned the group stage into the most dramatic race the World Cup has ever seen. Adding the round of 32 has done more than change how teams qualify for the knockout stage. It has reshaped the entire tournament bracket. At previous World Cups, many teams could predict their next opponent as soon as the group stage ended. This year is different. Some group winners will face runners-up. Others must wait to find out which third-place teams have earned a spot in the knockout stage. That means many matchups cannot be confirmed until the very last group stage match has been completed. Coaches can no longer prepare for a specific opponent too early. Instead, they have to keep a close eye on several groups at the same time. One unexpected result can completely reshape the path to the final. That has made the tactical side of the tournament far more complex. It has also given fans another reason to watch every match until the very last minute. Because sometimes, a single goal scored in a stadium thousands of miles away is enough to change the destiny of one of the tournament favorites. And that is something the World Cup has never experienced before. If there is one group that truly benefits from the new format, it is the underdogs. At previous World Cups, they almost always had to finish in the top 2 of their group to keep their tournament alive. That was an enormous challenge when they had to compete against football's biggest powers. Now, everything has changed. A third-place finish with a strong enough record can still earn them a place in the knockout stage. That opens the door for many nations to experience the World Cup knockout rounds for the very first time. The new format also gives smaller teams greater confidence. They no longer have to chase victory at all costs in every match. Instead, they can manage games more strategically, fighting for every point and every goal that could make the difference. That is exactly what FIFA hoped to achieve by expanding the tournament, to bring the World Cup to more nations, to create more opportunities for developing football programs, and to make a deep World Cup run a realistic dream for more teams than ever before. But whenever some teams benefit, others inevitably pay the price. And that price could have a direct impact on the overall quality of the tournament. While the new format creates more opportunities, it also brings challenges the World Cup has never faced before. To become world champions, teams now have to survive one additional knockout match. That means more minutes on the pitch, more travel, and less time to recover. For the teams that make deep runs, this is far from a minor change. Just one extra match can have a major impact on the physical condition of an entire squad. The risk of injuries increases. Fatigue continues to build, especially with the 2026 World Cup being played during the North American summer, where many host cities experience extreme heat. Many experts believe the final rounds will no longer be decided by skill alone. They will also become a test of endurance, recovery, and the depth of each squad. That is one of the biggest questions FIFA will have to answer after the tournament. Will more matches truly make the World Cup more exciting? Or will they force players to pay too high a price in their pursuit of football's greatest prize? In reality, this is not the first time the World Cup has reinvented itself. In 1982, FIFA expanded the tournament from 16 teams to 24. At the time, many feared the competition would lose its intensity. Then, in 1998, the World Cup expanded again, this time to 32 teams. The same arguments quickly returned. Critics claimed that adding more lower-ranked teams would weaken the overall quality of the tournament. But history delivered its own answer. The 32-team format gradually became the standard for nearly 3 decades. Today, very few people even remember how controversial that decision once was. That is why many believe the round of 32 at the 2026 World Cup could follow the very same path. First comes skepticism, then adaptation, and eventually acceptance as a natural part of the tournament. But that will only happen if the new format produces unforgettable matches and memorable stories. If it does not, the round of 32 may forever be remembered as one of the most controversial experiments in World Cup history. Even now, there is still no clear consensus. Supporters believe the World Cup has become more open than ever before. More nations have a chance to compete. More underdogs have the opportunity to write their own stories. And fans get to enjoy even more knockout matches. But critics see it differently. With as many as 32 teams reaching the knockout stage, simply getting out of the group is no longer as special as it once was. The pressure is lower. Finishing in the top 2 no longer carries the same weight. In some cases, teams can even advance without winning many matches. That debate will continue long after the 2026 World Cup is over, because the success of a tournament format is never decided by numbers on paper. It is decided by how fans experience it. If the round of 32 delivers unforgettable classics and remarkable upsets, FIFA will have proven that its decision was the right one. But if the overall quality of the competition declines, the debate over expanding the World Cup will almost certainly return. The 2026 World Cup will be remembered for many reasons. 48 national teams, 104 matches, and for the first time ever, a round of 32 on the biggest stage in world football. A few years from now, fans may see it as nothing more than a normal part of the World Cup, or it may go down as the most controversial decision in FIFA history. Right now, no one knows the answer. But one thing is certain. The road to lifting the World Cup trophy has changed forever. Every team that dreams of becoming world champion must now overcome a challenge that no previous generation has ever faced. So what do you think? Has adding the round of 32 truly made the World Cup more exciting? Or has it reduced the value of the group stage and the journey to becoming world champions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And do not forget to subscribe for more in-depth analysis and the biggest stories from throughout the 2026 World Cup.